Hey guys, it's Jenny. Welcome back to The Bookworm's a Buddy. It is time for my December wrap-up. I'm a little bit behind on that because I took like a hiatus from BookTube for like a week and a half after I did my 12 Days of Christmas. So I'm a little late. It's been several days, so I figured I'd better get this wrap-up done. I managed to read 10 books in the month of December, and I had a very good reading month. Some of them were easy reads, but you'll understand that when I get to the books. So let's get started. The first book I read here is Night and Day by Robert B. Parker. This is book number 8 to the Jesse Stone series. You guys know I am enjoying Jesse Stone series a lot. He makes it really easy. They're very fluid. He's like the king of dialogue, like I've said before. And I just really love a lot of dialogue in the book. I think it helps the book to flow better. So I rated this one 4 stars. The next book I read was Beyond Reach by Karin Slaughter. This is the 6th and final book to the Grant County series. I enjoyed this series so much. I read the whole series in 2016, which made me very happy. A series that is completed. This is the first series by Karin Slaughter. This came before the Will Trent series. She is just an amazing writer. If you want to read a really strong female author and you like mystery, Karin Slaughter is fantastic, so check her out. This book I rated 5 stars. The next book I read was Great Snakes by Faye Robinson. This is a book that I read with my grandson Avery, and we liked it. It was both a learning experience and it had a story itself. So we both really enjoyed that. He has a habit of picking up like nonfiction children's books covering snakes, and a lot of times they're just too hard to read for him because you got blocks of words and stuff, and he's the one that likes to read, so we kind of do it together, but he reads the most of it now. It had great illustrations in it, great pictures of snakes and such, and we loved the learning experience from the book. I've learned so much more about snakes, and so has he, and we ended up rating that 5 stars. The next book that I read was Tricks by Ellen Hopkins. I wanted to have a refresher on this one because I have a friend who wants to give me Traffic, which was the second book to this duology or whatever it's going to be. And I rated it the same as I rated it last time. I rated it 5 stars. As you guys know, Ellen Hopkins writes with realism. Very trigger-heavy stories. So always keep that in mind if you're going to pick up an Ellen Hopkins book, because there are a lot of triggers in them. This one deals with drugs and prostitution and all that stuff. So if those things, you don't like to read about that kind of stuff, then you may not want to pick them up. But she does write realism. It brings you back down to earth and realize that these things really are going on in the world. So if you like realism in books, then Ellen Hopkins is probably the queen of realism. I rated this 5 stars. The next book that I read was Miracle on I-40. This was my Christmas read, and this is by Curtis Ann Matlock. I was really looking forward to reading this because I don't read a lot of Christmas books because I don't own a lot. It was okay. I ended up rating it 3.5 stars, and what it is a girl who was estranged from her father because she got pregnant and she left home. She's going to make that visit back home and maybe reconcile with her father. And the only way she can get there, because money is tight, is with a truck driver. The original truck driver, who she knows very well, could not do it, so he has his friend step in and do it. And he is a bah humbug Grinch kind of guy, and it was a good story. There was a good message. I thought maybe there would have been more that happened in it, but I mean, I can't complain. 3.5 stars. The next book that I read was Just After Sunset by Stephen King. As you guys know, I think I stressed it many times that it was a J for my A through Z challenge, and I can just say I was disappointed with this. There was not very many in here that I enjoyed. I think there was like 6 of them in here that I actually enjoyed, because they're all short stories by Stephen King. Okay, there was 5 of them in here that I enjoyed. The rest of them, out of like 14, I think it was, and it's just, yeah. But I did get through the book. I did read it. It did count for my J. That made me happy. I will not read it again. I am positive. This is not his best collection of short stories. So, like I said, rated it 2 stars. The next book that I read was Split Image by Robert B. Parker. This is book number 9 to the Jesse Stone series. And I really enjoyed this one as well. I rated this 4 stars. I'm not going to give details on any of these Robert Parker books. All I can tell you is Jesse Stone was a homicide detective who lost his job. He lost his marriage due to being an alcoholic. He transfers here to a little town called Paradise. They think they're going to just, it's overrun with bad seeds. And they think, well, this guy's a loser, so we can still run the town the way we want it. And he fooled them all, and he cleaned the town up. And these are all cases that he gets involved in and solves. So, yeah. Book number 9, rated at 4 stars. The next book that I read was The Miserable Mill by Lemony Snicket. This is book number 4 to the series of Unfortunate Events, and I'm really enjoying this series a lot, you guys. It's pretty dark for middle grade, but they're fun, quick reads, and pretty much the story is the kids have an unfortunate life. Nothing good ever happens, and I am looking forward to finishing this series this year because I want to get to that last book, which is called The End. And we'll see how it all wraps up. But yeah, they're very fun reads. So if you want a quick read, try the series of Unfortunate Events. It's fantastic. The next book that I read was Robert B. Parker's Killing the Blues. And the reason it is titled this way is because Robert B. Parker passed away in 2010. And this one was actually written by Michael Brandman. And this was book number 10 to the Jesse Stone series. I was a little concerned about reading this book because you get a ghostwriter and you're like, oh, the writing's going to change. And it didn't really change all that much. It made me really happy. Jesse Stone was still the same Jesse Stone as he was in prior books, except he was a little more bold, and I really liked that. I liked that he appeared to be a little more bold rather than being that sit-back, more kind of detective or police chief. So I really liked that part of it. Wasn't disappointed at all. I rated this one 4 stars. And the last book that I read for December was Robert B. Parker's Fool Me Twice. This is book number 11 in the Jesse Stone series, and this is my favorite so far. I think that Michael Brandman did fantastic. This was my favorite. I rated this one 5 stars. Jesse Stone has turned into kind of more like a go-get-em kind of police chief, and I really love that. Everything else pretty much stays the same. The town stays the same. The cases, they don't go way out there. So yeah, I'm really, really pleased with what I'm reading, and I will be finishing up this series this year because I only have a few more books, like 3 or 4 more books to read. So yeah, if you guys like suspense and mystery, check these out because they're really, really great. Okay, those are the books that I read for the month of December. If you've read any of these books, let me know in the comments below. And what have you read in December? Let me know that as well, and we'll talk about it. Thanks, guys, for staying tuned, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.